everyone. Welcome to Straight For You, where we're giving you straightforward dialogue with an open mind. I am your host, Miss Black Diamond, along with the presidential security light person next to me. My co-host. Who are you?
So you just put a lot of emphasis on host. Like you was like, I'm your host. Like you felt it today.
Yes, because I'm feeling presidential myself since this is presidential day.
Okay, so you feel it. Anyway, folks. It's your main man, it's Rashad, a.k.a. Trouble the Unruly. You know what I'm saying? Have a good dial. You know what I'm saying? We're doing all the great things in the building and whatnot. It's good to be here.
Hey, was you my security or something?
You know what I'm saying? You know, we got to... Yeah.
I love it. I love it with the shades.
Yeah, give me 50 feet.
Are you going to be shading all the whole episode?
Gotta escort you. Yeah, gotta escort you out. Yeah.
On this President's Day, I will acknowledge, but you know how that go. We ain't doing all that right now.
Wait, before we even get started, how was your birthday shenanigans?
Ooh, it was relaxing. This year, I just wanted to chill and reflect. Now, the up and coming years, it'd be on and popping, but this will be the first year I just wanted to rest, you know, and just have little sprinkle of moments, just a little sprinkle of moments with little individuals here and there. But other than that, I didn't do it big this year. It was pretty simple this year.
Unacceptable.
It's gonna be better next year.
Oh, okay.
Hey, sometimes you're gonna have to be calm before the storm. You know, so we're going to wave it out next year or the following year after that.
I'm going to put my shades back on.
Hey, you know. But I appreciate you asking, and I'm blessed to see a new year.
Yeah, she's 35. Yes. Can you believe
it? But anyway, on to the topic for today.
Oh, we getting into it. Oh, we ain't wasting no time.
No, because it's President Day. We about that presidential stuff. So today's Straight For You topic is what makes communication uncomfortable.
Oh God.
Yes, honey. So today's topic is again what makes communication uncomfortable. So let's get into it. What makes it uncomfortable, sir?
So for me, like in my current stage of life, what I'm realizing about like communication is that regardless of how comfortable you are doing it, it's still uncomfortable. And the reason why I say it's uncomfortable because like even though I've learned how to be or how to remain sturdy in the uncomfortable, regardless of whoever it's with, you know what I'm saying, it's still there's always something new to learn. There's always something new that comes about to where you're like, oh shit, I wasn't prepared for this. You know, I wasn't prepared to address this, or I wasn't prepared to have to speak about this or speak on this. So like, you know, I think like for me, the whole thing about what makes communication uncomfortable is like being accountable, and not even so much being accountable, but also being vulnerable, and also having to speak up and use your words. Yeah. Unlike how we were talking about what episode was that when we were talking about social media? Versus
I want to say 16.
Right. Versus social media. Whenever it's easy to say shit and you can just kind of leave it where the fuck is that versus. In communication, when it's in person, you have to talk back. You have to talk back, and you have to be accountable.
Well, for me, as far as the communication, it's beyond just the words. It's the visual of the person.
Ooh, that body language, yeah.
So I've learned to not just listen to you. I have to, if I'm in your presence, see what it really is like. Ooh. Because of what I do for a living.
Okay. Being
in the medical field, you know, you got to go beyond the person's words, because they can lie to you in your face and they be sick as a dog because they fear getting shots or something of that nature.
Okay.
You know, so communication on that aspect is just more than just the words for me. I have to look at your body language, and it's gotten worse for me when it comes to that, because I don't even listen to your words to a certain degree. I look at how you behave.
Oh,
your actions.
And some of that stuff you can't you can't hide.
You can't hide your actions.
Yeah, you can lie, but your body language will tell on you.
Yes. Oh. And with that communication, I think that kind of hindered a previous like relationship I was involved with, because again I was listening to their words but their actions so different.
Ooh.
You know, and if you know, as far as the communication, I don't mind communicating with people. I didn't in my younger years because I felt like I didn't have a voice to be able to do it, because you are pretty much in that race, in that family, you are to be seen, not heard.
Oh.
In a sense, know your place, age wise, you know, and it took me to find myself in order to express myself.
Oh, come on now.
So,
say that again.
It took me to find myself in order to express myself. So now I'm comfortable with saying how I feel. If you hurt me, I'm going to say you hurt me and why you hurt me. Not just hurt me. I'm going to tell you the details of what you did that made me feel this way. So, and I will expect that in return. Like, if I'm doing something to make you feel uncomfortable, I open the door by saying it to you. I should be able to receive that information from the opposite person. You know, and a lot of people don't do that. They so busy trying to express their thoughts that they not listening to how or what they're doing to the next man.
Or they don't, or they're ashamed.
It could be, but at the end of the day, you can't come out here blazing on others and not expect to be blazed back.
Come on now. Come on
you
now.
know, and like we tapped in that social media episode, people don't know how to interact with people anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because they've gotten so comfortable with the disconnect of being being present and actually like speaking to a person. Like a lot of people, that's uncomfortable. Even now, I still find myself experiencing moments of uncomfortableness, like with like still talking to people or whatever. Because from the things that I was taught, whenever you talk to someone, you look them in the eye.
Yeah.
You look them in the eye, and you let a person know what's up. Like even to this day, as long as I've been doing it, it's still uncomfortable.
And I wonder what caused that. Because again, you're right. In order to express yourself, it's good to look the person in the eye.
Absolutely.
But some people use that eye contact as a form of dominance.
Ooh.
That's to pierce at you, because you got those piercers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. They just like and all up in you. I'm like, wait a minute, let me blink for a minute. It's not that I'm trying to hide something. It's like you're really just all up in you trying to get into my soul or something? What's wrong with you?
That's why I got my stone shades on today. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you try to block all that. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, the idea of communication has weakened so much that it's funny how if you reflect on old movies back in the day, like when they were really, really good, they used to say what the future may look like.
Right.
And you remember seeing some movies where you saw people as couch potatoes.
Yep.
Just sitting there, just getting big for no reason, just to do it, and then get on like a phone call or something, and or a virtual reality program, and it's a whole different image of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it seemed like we heading like more towards that, like the AI approach instead of the human approach towards that. And nobody's really want to really tap into that. Like, you becoming more AI than human,
right?
Because again, we are so focused on social stuff that we don't even know what to do with each other anymore.
Right. We don't even
behave correctly with each other. If we do connect with each other, it's either one or two things. We either too shy or too aggressive.
Oh, it ain't you know what? Actually, you are kind of right. It's very rarely a gray area these days. People are too into it, or people are not invested enough, and it's because I think people have gotten afraid to put their emotions out there because they're afraid of they're afraid to put themselves out there because they're afraid that they either won't be heard or that they'll be judged, for how they feel and the way that they view the world. Because I know for me that those are some of my fears.
But also too, that's part of life.
Yeah, and it is.
That's part of experiences, and the funny part about it, we are now teaching the newer generations to not interact with each other like we should. And it's only bound to get worse. People, it's going to be to the point that people don't know people. It's going to be to the point we just know programs.
Oh.
We have no human contact unless it's like sexual and it's just like here and gone. There is no like major physical. I see that coming. There will be no major physical interaction, and it's going to get to the point that there might not be no. I'm just saying, actual sex. It'd be animated.
Oh God.
You know, with the sensation. No,
I don't know about all that because I still like to do.
But we in this type of generation. I'm talking about towards future.
In the future.
You know, it's going to be to the point that think about all this stuff that's been created to help your senses. You know, the virtual type of things, and they trying to do the gloves and possibly body pieces so you can feel everything that interacts in that world.
Yeah.
Imagine people just getting trapped in that they just, that's all they know.
Yeah.
The newer generations, I'm saying the newer generations.
No, I get what you're saying, and I'm kind of like, yeah.
It can happen because we're not teaching interaction. We just doing or not teaching the human aspects of communication, like the one-on-one.
Yeah, we're not holding people accountable.
We rather get on a social platform to communicate. We rather text than communicate.
Right, text than communicate.
We barely want to talk on the phone and have a real conversation.
And that's crazy because people be like, I see this on like social media all the time. If you can text me, don't call me.
And that saddens my heart. I'm gonna be honest. That kind of saddens my heart. I get that it's good for introverts.
Right.
But again, at the end of the day, you need some type of human interaction. It don't have to be constant, but you need some type of human interaction.
I agree.
You know, otherwise you will be that loner and the world will pass you by.
And
or better yet, you're just looking through that bubble.
Right, and even I'm guilty of that sometimes. So we're like, and I have to like, and I constantly have to like remind myself to, hey, pick up the phone and call. Like even if it's just, hey, I was just calling to check on you instead of just sending that text message or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I'm trying to have a more hands-on approach or whatever because like a lot of that stuff like it's meaningful. It's like it's meaningful. Not even so much that like I wanted to have a feel to it, you know what I'm saying? Instead of it just, you know, I get like, you know, if you get a random text message from somebody, hey, I was thinking about you, it means something or whatever, but like to hear their voice, to hear their voice and to kind of hear them, you know, projecting all of that stuff, like it makes a difference.
Because like you mentioned on one episode, people can misinterpret a message versus if you hear their voice, I can say, I love you.
Right.
I love you.
Right.
I love you.
Right.
You hear those different tones?
Yeah. You don't get that in text message or through social media. No, you get like you experience that whenever you face to face. You can see a person's like eyes light up and so on and so forth. But I don't.
Not necessarily like you stated. Not even face to face. You can hear it.
Right. You can hear it
in the call.
Right. So, like I think. Like I was talking about earlier, or what I was addressing earlier. I think people just because like it's the norm is the phone now. The norm is like technology or whatever. We're slowly but surely getting further and further away from that human interaction and so on and so forth. Because I remember growing up as kids, like we didn't have all of that. Like we didn't have all of that. Like you know whenever you wanted to see your friends, you had to ride a bike or you had to walk and and we talked. Yeah. You know, and we talked about all those things. You know what I'm saying? And like now, it's a digital age now.
Yeah, this age is progressing in our life.
Right.
I'm saying, imagine the new lives that's been created now. They don't know what it's like to feel without having a cell phone. They've been born with the cell phone.
This is true.
They don't know.
Even kids like now, even in elementary, they have to have a cell phone now, right?
Cell phone, iPad. Things of those natures.
Damn.
Everything is electronic. And I've been in these classes. Majority of it is electronic. Back in our day, we was when we had computer class, we get to get on the computer.
We get to get the computers. Okay. We will be. Yeah,
it's required now. It's required that you have some type of AI type of technology on deck with the newer generation. So we can say all day what it used to be like, but we got to understand this is their experiences current. Right. So that's why I said I just feel like as time progresses, people going to lose that interaction. They mostly going to be technology communication.
So I want to say this, like I can't even remember what the restaurant is, but you know, a lot of restaurants nowadays have Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But like the restaurant was like, we don't have Wi-Fi. Talk to each other.
And I love
like and it's dope. And so like, you know, and it's like some of my friends they even take it a step further. You know, they be like, hey, everybody put your phone in the center of the table. Whoever grab their phone first, they got to pay for the whole bill.
And I respect that.
So, you know,
but that's sad that you're gonna have to play a game with the situation in order to have that
to have that interaction. But I mean, but like after a while, it works though. So you know, like it works, and so you like in the whole aspect of things or whatever. You know, like that's the reason why like I appreciate like small gatherings and so on and so forth. Like that's the reason why I appreciate those things or whatever, because like it gives you a chance to really interact and be kind of present in the moment and be away from the cell phones or whatever. You actually like are engaging, joking, and like laughing with other people and stuff like that, having a good time. Like
that's my goal.
Right.
I do plan on, and that's kind of funny you mentioned that. I remember you made me reflect back in elementary.
Take it back now.
All the way back in elementary, my biggest thing was to have a van. And in this van, I took all my friends. We go on trips, like to the beach and stuff like that.
That sounds like fun.
Yes, and that was my goal, taking my friends, and then we just having fun in different areas. So I think now that my life has progressed and it will get further, one of my goals now is once I become a certain status in life, I'm gonna make that happen. I said once I get a certain environment, I'm gonna have little gatherings like that. Just instead of going like to different locations, I'm gonna create that location within my environment. Like we in a whole nother country, just or things like that. I'm just saying, just the idea of just us vibing and having that moment. Not saying, okay, let's not get it twisted. We ain't doing it all the time,
right?
Because I don't need y'all in my face all the time. Because you got those people that has to have it every weekend. I can't have it every weekend. I'm still, I'm both. Okay, I said I'm social private. But
social private.
Yes, I that's what I am. I'm social. When I'm out in public, I technically mostly don't see a stranger. You know me. I'll be like, hey,
this is true.
How this you doing? True. I like
sure,
what you got on.
Don't know no strangers.
But when I get home,
that's
I'm
it.
Home.
You can hang it up.
And you know I'm selective with people that come in my home.
Don't I know it? Ooh, don't I know it?
So if you are able to come in my
privileged
home,
enough, yeah, absolutely.
And I've been friends with people for years and still haven't been in my home. And that don't mean that I don't care or dislike them. It's just I have to release
your space. This is your space for you to,
because I give the world so much positive within me. This is my recharge. Okay? And I don't need too much chaos coming inside with me. You know, because I experienced that throughout lifetime, just dealing with family issues. So now that I'm able to finally have my peace for me,
come on now,
I'm holding that, you know, and embracing that. But at the end of the day, I still want to interact. I still want to have communication. I love a phone call versus a text message.
Come on now.
You know, it's some people that I do check upon, and it's crazy that they thought, well, you don't check on me, but let's do the phone record. Let's do the text record.
Right.
Who's doing who as far as communication?
So you know what's funny is like I actually prefer like, you know, the whole face-to-face like dynamic, even more so over phones or whatever. Like I prefer like, you know, the whole face-to-face interaction and so on and so forth. But I think like for me, my biggest thing with like communication or like, you know, communication, like especially like face to face or being uncomfortable in communication period is I don't I don't like feeling like I'm not being heard.
Ooh, that's a bad
Yeah, like feeling like I'm not being heard, or whenever I'm in the process of trying to get some momentum to speak and I get cut off. Those are the things that discourage me from wanting to communicate. Like those are the things that to where I just be like, you know what, forget it. And honestly, I don't always need to lay flat. And sometimes I need to be like, hey, like.
So question.
What's up?
On that. Is it because maybe it created a dynamic with those people, they know you're going to back down?
So, it might not, I don't even necessarily think that it's that I'll back down. I think it's because they know that I'm a good listener.
You are a great listener, but also, too, you have a right to have your voice heard, too.
This is true. This is
it's
very,
not
very true.
one-sided.
And it's not. And I think I've gotten conditioned, you know what I'm saying? I've gotten conditioned and I've gotten comfortable with people kind of cutting me off or not, or feeling like I'm not being heard, to where that's kind of become a norm, and I need to work on that, honestly.
Yeah, it's not an easy task.
No, not at all.
What we're doing, we chiming with each other, and that's a healthy way of communicating.
Right, absolutely.
For one to talk and talk forever is not healthy, but also too, for a person that constantly cut isn't healthy.
I don't have the patience for that. That's the other thing. I'll just be like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Like, because.
But you gotta find that it's that finding that equal balance, and a person that truly cares will take that time to study you and get a better way to communicate with you, because it's not gonna be perfect every time. Mm-hmm. It's just the idealistic of, do they really care enough to try? So
let me ask you this: do you I want to feel, and I feel like you do, but I want to ask this question anyway. Like, do you have like certain people that you talk to about certain things? Like is it one of those things to where like, oh, I'm dealing with, like, say for instance, like you might be dealing with money issues. You got a specific person that you called to be like, hey, like what do you think I should do in this particular case? Versus.
Pick the wrong thing about money, because I'm
okay.
I'm the one they call about.
Okay, well, shit. Okay, so let's see. If you have, I guess if you were having an issue with, with me, for instance, who like there will be somebody that you would probably reach out to that you'd be like, ooh, let me reach out to this person because
I'm about the value of advice,
right?
And it's got to come from a particular individual.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ask from say. I have a rich person and I have a poor person.
Come on, okay.
I can't ask the poor person how to be wealthy.
Oh, okay. So you get, okay.
You know, I have to go to the person that experienced wealth within wealth, and to get me to where I need to be.
The proper trajectory. Okay.
But doesn't mean their advice is my path. They just giving me scenarios of what to do. I don't have to follow their guide completely, because I'm still my own individual. But also, too, to flip the coin, I can still kind of ask the poor person their ideal wealth, because who's to say they wasn't wealthy at one point and became poor? I can learn from them what not to do. You know, it all depends on that person's history and their present. So you can learn from any and everybody, because you got wealthy people out here that's homeless. They were wealthy at one point, but something in their life broke them or affected them to be in that stance. So with that being said, what happened? Ooh. You know, and they don't, like the elderly, worked in a nursing home. Full of history, full of stories. Some of it verbiage, garbage, and some of it is tools and treasure. You know, it all depends on, you can find the youngest person out of nowhere. It can be a child. Seem like they been on this earth before.
And they drop a jewel.
And they dropping little jewels. They, you know, children have no filter to a certain degree. They'll tell you what you are, right? If you really want to know,
talk to a child.
Ask a child or ask an elderly person, because they, at that point, they don't give a fuck.
True.
Just to be honest.
So with that, like, what is there anything that you experienced that's uncomfortable during communication for you?
Hell yeah, I've experienced a lot of situations where I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable with the idea of a person explaining their image of me.
Okay.
which messed with my self-esteem.
Damn.
I was uncomfortable with the idea of not having a voice within my family.
Okay.
You know, due to the fact of my age. That has changed. I was uncomfortable with just how friends or so-called associates moved around me. You know, but that took me to, like I said, over time to grow and know my value and purpose on this earth. I didn't know my purpose for quite some time.
Wow.
You know, I had an idea of my purpose and I moved towards that direction, but for my full potential, I had to go through certain experiences with different individuals to get me to where I am now, and I'm still learning. That's the thing. People want to say they know it completely. I'm the first of many that say I don't know it all, but what I do know, I don't mind talking about it, and if I don't know it completely, I don't mind asking help. And that's the thing. People sometimes don't want to ask for help. They so into this egoistic thing, like, yo,
I'm guilty of that.
You know,
but not for those reasons.
No, not for that. It's just a general feeling like, again, somebody has done something to you within your lifespan that you feel like you can't speak your words.
So for me, like the whole thing of asking for help, I think the reason why that is uncomfortable for me is because it makes me feel like I'm not, like, whenever I have to ask for help, it makes me feel like I'm not doing like I'm not carrying my weight. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, like that's one of the things about asking for help, and even in the communication to be that vulnerable to even say, hey, I need help. Like that is so uncomfortable. Like that is so uncomfortable because, you know, like growing up, like in a lot of cases, like whenever there were things that would go on with my parents or whatever, like whenever we didn't have, we just went without. Like, you know, in a lot of cases, and you know, so we didn't ask for the help. We managed without. You know what I'm saying? So like now here I am in this day and age. You know, I'm gonna be 35, and I still struggle with, hey, I need help. Well, or for me to sit up there and say that, for me to allow myself to be that vulnerable to be like, hey, I need help.
It all depends on the individual. But I understand your aspect of not asking for help, because I'm the same way. My reasons is because I don't want, excuse my language, I don't want shit thrown back in my face.
Come on now,
and that's just what I seen growing up. The women in my family are strong women. Okay, and that's what are my examples. Okay, and it's to the point, if I ever, whether friends or family, you know this for a fact. If I ever ask for help, that means I'm in you in need. Cause I never asked for help. My parents to this day have to force their help on me. I'd rather wait until
the last minute.
Not even I just rather wait than even ask. You know, I could be to the, you know, like a cup of noodle or barely eating anything. I won't ask, because I don't want nothing thrown back in my face, because I've seen that happen throughout time within my family, my friends, or associates, or whoever. I don't like that feeling. Right. Now, this the crazy part. They don't mind asking me for help. Oh. And I don't mind helping, but I had to dial that down, because I noticed I was becoming that handicap in their life. Because again, I can give you stories where I rearranged my whole paycheck in order to help another household survive. Wow. I can give you different stories of examples within the family and some friends just rearranging things for others, and then not to get that back. So we're gonna have to pinpoint that. Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna go ahead. Yeah, so make sure you pinpoint that, because it's that time where we go to our straight for you perspectives, outside perspectives, where we give one male, one female an opportunity to talk about today's topic. So with that being said, who would you like today, sir? All right, now.
We're gonna go with the fellas.
All right, let's see here. So today's male perspective is James. Shout outs to James.
Okay, James, go ahead.
Yes. So James said communication is only uncomfortable for those who use it as a tool for lies and manipulation.
Oh.
Again, James stated communication is only uncomfortable for those who use it as a tool for lies and manipulation.
Oh.
That's deep right there.
That's heavy.
Yes, because yeah, you do have those moments when you interact with people and you can tell that they trying to use you for other, or better yet, I take that back. I just lied. In the beginning, it's so masked, like for real, it's masked.
True.
And then over a progressive of time, you start noticing things here and there that don't
add up.
And you like, and then it's funny how God works in the sense that certain individuals start coming your way, or certain things you hear, like little birds flying, telling you little things here and there, and you like, hold on.
Right. That wasn't right. Mm-hmm.
And then you looking like, okay, let me step back and watch.
Right.
And then that watch, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so communication can help in the aspects of that. You know, like James stated, them lies and manipulation points of view. Because we all have told a little lie here and there.
True.
We all had some points in our life when we try to manipulate a situation.
True. This is
but
true.
It's the idea of being hurtful and harmful within the manipulation or the lies. You intentionally trying to hurt that person.
So I don't fully agree that communication is only is only uncomfortable when it's used for manipulation and lies. I don't fully agree with that. Because for me, I know another part of communication that is uncomfortable for me is talking about myself. I don't.
That's a healthy communication,
right? And and so that's something that I constantly have to work on day for day to be like, it's okay to talk about yourself and it not seem boastful or like you're bragging.
Give you your flowers.
Right. So you know what I'm saying?
Nobody else will give you your flowers.
I'm having to be mindful of that because growing up, there were a lot of situations to where people would be like, if you talk, you talking about yourself or whatever. Yeah, you boasting and you bragging, or whatever. You should let other people say these things about you versus or whatever. But how are you gonna ever job interviews? What they want to know? Yeah, they want to know about you.
Yeah.
And so now here I am in a place to where now that's one of the
great example.
That's one of the hardest things. In an interview, that's one of the most difficult parts of the interview for me.
You never had to do it.
Right, because I ain't never had to do it. I'm so busy. I'm so used to listening to other people talk. So whenever it's time for me to talk about myself, that is a struggle, especially in the interviewing setting. Whenever I'm I'm trying to get the it's uncomfortable.
That's a great example because again, how do you expect to explain yourself when everybody told you shut up about yourself?
Right.
That is a for real. For real. Because how do you expect? That's just like people want you to have experience on the job, right? Mm-hmm. How you going to gain experience if you don't give me the opportunity to try?
To get the experience.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So how do you expect me to explain myself where everybody shut me down to?
Right.
Now, there's different being to the point of over highlighting yourself,
right?
Versus being humble and saying, "This is who I am. This is the stance I have. This is my perspective. This is my life." Mm-hmm. Versus a person where I'm rich. Mm-hmm. I make this, I make that, or constantly say how much they making. Okay, mm-hmm. That's good. Or just say I'm in a comfortable lifestyle, and in order, unless you saying this to teach me something, mm-hmm. I'm comfortable, let me show you how to get comfortable.
Right.
That's different versus just bragging, just constantly bragging about you and what you can do, what you have done, what you got. Nobody gives a fuck unless you giving it to them, okay?
So with that being said, shouts out to you and I'm pretty sure he won't mind me because there's a lot of them in the world. Shouts out to you, Anthony, and my boy Terry, because y'all have y'all have helped me grow in that aspect of being
yeah,
absolutely, yeah. Y'all have helped me grow in that aspect of being a bit more comfortable with talking about myself.
Yeah.
And not even necessarily being comfortable with talking about myself, but with me being like, it's okay.
It is.
Because, like I'm saying, like at one point in time, I thought that there was like, how I grew, I thought that was a taboo. Like, I really thought that was like a taboo, or that was something that you were not supposed to do.
Well, I look at it like this. I want certain individuals, and I'm be honest, to wear their crown. Mm-hmm. And you should wear your crown and wear it with pride, because I'd be the first to say I put my crown on the shelf for years. For years. This up and coming year, summer last year, I finally dust that crown off, and I'm wearing my crown, because again, what's going on in the world should be a great example. Wear your crown. Because no telling when that crown falls and you can't pick it up anymore.
So that means as you said on one of the previous episodes, you was like, you need to get in the way instead of getting out, instead of trying to stay out the way all the time.
And don't just be stuck in that being in the way all the time. It's a balance.
Yeah.
Know when to do it, when not to do it.
Oh, okay.
That's when you have to work it out. You can't be in your way all your life, and you can't be in front of you, blocking yourself and doing all this stuff. So you either gonna move out the way and let yourself walk, or sometimes you're gonna have to get in your way to slow you down.
Cause look, I can tell you now, I'm pretty sure I done missed out on probably a few good women because I was too shy to say something. I was too shy to communicate.
And that's the case for me. I probably missed out on opportunities to have a relationship with someone within standards. Because I feel like, hey, I was number one, my heart was stuck somewhere else, and it wasn't right for me to get involved with someone. Okay. But also too, I'm more bold in my stance now. Lately I've been more bold in my stance. Hey, I'm talking. If I see somebody like I say I like it, and and not necessarily mean I have to want to be sexually intimate, and that's the flip of the coin, because you can express yourself to someone, then they want to say, oh, okay, so you want to fuck? No, I want to get to know you first. For me, it's mental.
Okay, Miss Tassels.
Because I am gonna, I have my fun, but at the end of the day, I do want somebody that is willing to teach me as well as I teach them. I want some substance in the relationship. I don't want just your physical.
And what's funny? That's the other part of it. That's also another reason why people are uncomfortable, because they don't have any substance. They don't really have shit to talk about.
No, they don't.
They don't have shit to talk about.
Sex is done. Right. Like seriously, if you take away the sex out of the situation,
what do you have?
They don't have nothing. And I've encountered that. Like, I took the sex out of the situation. And it was like, oh, you don't fuck with me no more. What? Like, seriously, what? I am trying to get to know you in a stronger stance other than that. I know how you feel. But what are you thinking? What do you want? What do you want past us? In creation, what if we created something? What do you want for them?
Oh, come on now.
For me, it's beyond me. Again, I've said this numerous times, to not on this show, but to people that I communicate with. Yes, I want stuff for me while I'm here.
Okay, but that's reasonable.
My ultimate goal is to leave stuff for the next generation. Because we deserve that. We are entitled to that. A lot of things within our culture have been taken away. Right. And we are the creators. But at the end of the day, I can't do or change what happened in the past, but I can change the current and the future.
Come on now.
So therefore, let me create something to enjoy while I'm here, and let me create something for my future people to enjoy within my generations, and spread the love and the seeds from there.
Bing bong.
So that part, like, for real. But at the end of the day, we're going to take a little Straight For You highlight sponsor break, because we got to show the love to the sponsors. So see you pretty soon. Peace. everyone. Welcome to Straight For You, where we're giving you straightforward dialogue with an open mind. I'm your host, Ms. Black Diamond, along with my nice-looking security co-host on Presidential Day.
Step back. We need about 6 feet. Step back. No. What's going on, y'all? It's Rashad, aka Trouble the Unruly.
Hey,
back in the building.
I'm
Finna
really
get back. Yep.
feeling this unruly.
Well, you know what I'm saying. So, I figure you just gotta, you gotta step out there and be unruly in the sense of if you're gonna do something, like, do it to the fullest.
Oh.
Yeah, do it to the fullest.
Wow.
Yeah, if you're gonna do something, do it to the fullest. Like, be like, be like, if you're gonna be yourself, like, do it like unapologetically.
What
you know
they
what I'm
say,
saying?
you only got one life to live, so live it.
So yeah, do it unapologetically.
That's what
You know what I'm saying?
about.
So like, I'm gonna be unruly in the sense of anything that that I do and anything that I'm invested in and that I touch, I'm gonna be unruly and like do it unapologetically.
As long as it's in a healthy way, babe, that's all I care. As long as it's impacting people in a positive manner, because you got them chaos people, So, case in point, with one of our perspectives, Mr. James said, no, he talked about lies and manipulation. I was thinking back on another episode when they was talking about chaos.
Now, don't get me wrong. I am an advocate for bad decisions every now and then.
Hey, but you're human, though. Moving forward with his naughty behind. Well, I love it. But at the end of the day, our topic for today is what makes communication uncomfortable, yo. And right now we're giving healthy communication. So we're giving a great example of what communication could look like. And also to our viewers who chime in and leave comments and things. That's healthy communication,
right.
But moving forward, because we did get the aspects from Mr. James talking about lies and manipulation. That's what kind of makes communication uncomfortable things.
Let's get this woman perspective. I want to hear this.
Ahead?
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
Okay, our female perspective is Paula.
Okay.
All right. Paula says communication is uncomfortable because most people want you to get to know their representatives instead of the real person for fear that their flaws are too much to handle.
Oh.
So again, Paula, for the people so they can hear, Paula said communication is uncomfortable because most people want you to get to know their representative instead of the real person for fear that their flaws are too much to handle. Paula went deep.
No, that's real. That's real.
And a lot of people do put their representatives out before their reality of who they are. Because, again, the imagery that they see on other platforms,
right?
They want to be just as impressive as they appear. But the thing about it is they are representatives.
Right.
Majority of them.
Well, so the double-edged sword in that is that, like, some people, when people be like, fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because that's a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? Because look, as much as I am, capable of certain things or whatever. Like, sometimes I don't always want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there are different levels to me. Like, even at work, I'll use work for an example. Like, my boss, he'll move me around to different places, and like the first thing that he do is tell the people that train me on the new position or something like that, on the new like job or whatever, he'll be like, hey, this guy, he learns the job quick, don't baby him. Dude, like, stop telling them that, because now you set up an expectation.
Yes.
You didn't let them like
judge on their own.
You didn't let them judge on their own. So now they got this expectation that I'm supposed to schedule them to the job quick. You know what I'm saying? That's cool that you have that faith in me or whatever, and that my capabilities, but I don't always want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to, like, sometimes I just want to coast. Sometimes I just want to chill. And go into, and
he kind of put a light on you.
Right. And even going back to fake it till you make it. I don't always want to have to fake it till I make it. Sometimes I just want to be wherever I'm at. If it ain't sufficient enough, like, oh well.
But the crazy part of you saying that, I'm gonna be honest, I can't fake who I am.
Right.
my mind won't let me fake who I am. What you see is what you get. And maybe that's why I draw in certain individuals towards me.
I agree.
You know, I draw I ain't gonna lie, I draw quite a few people to me because, again, I'm who I am. You know, I'm a loving person. I'm an understanding person. I'm a forgiving person. I'm a genuine person. I'm loyal to the fault, depending on what you do to me. And that's just my characteristics.
I agree.
And I can't put a representative. Now, I have a 2.0 me. I can increase who I am. I can perfect who I am.
Right.
But I can't fake who I am because you're going to have to keep up with the lies. And I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to be trying to figure out who I was yesterday with this person. And who I am with this person today. So and then you meet the person that you were with this person now. They like, you didn't say that to me, or act that way with me, or we didn't go there. We didn't do that. You know, that's just too much for me to battle. So,
you know, I want to jump on the back of that because going back to what Miss Paula said, like, I don't, you know, I worry about, like, you know, with the things that are on my mind, and, you know, the way that I view the world, and, you know, the things that, you know, that interest me, you know, certain things that I speak of, I worry about being judged all the time or whatever, because, like, I want to say in some of the most honest parts of myself, like, I realized that I'm still a child, just hoping to be liked. Like that kid that goes to school, like, you know, their first day of school, hoping that they make friends. I'm still that, even at the ripe age of 35.
I commend you for admitting that, because everybody is a child wanting to be liked. Right. Whoever say, like, you a lie, because you won't be on social media doing what you're doing. Right. You won't be in public doing what you're doing. Someone wants to be admired by someone.
Absolutely.
Somebody wants to be loved by someone. Nobody really wants to be hated unless that just fuels your fire. But even if it fuels your fire, you want somebody with the same kind of thinking of you, right, next to you doing it.
You know, nobody wants to feel alone, and in a lot of cases like that be like one of the things that makes, you know, me being like, Rashad, do you really want to talk about this, or do you really want to say these things? You know what I'm saying? Right. Because even on this platform, like, you've had to get on to me about, be like, hey, like, if you got something to say, you need to say it. Like, you've gotten on to me because I'd be like, oh, I don't want to say that because I don't want to rub anybody the wrong way, and so on and so forth. But it's still how I feel, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, that, you know, one of those situations, I had to get out my own way.
But no telling how many of our viewers
could relate
what you feel.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I had to step outside of myself on that thought. You know, I say it numerous times, I'm not a perfect individual walking this planet, but I'm perfect enough for me and the people that are next to me. Not even perfect. That's the wrong word. I'm good enough to be able to relate and teach and learn. Because people want to be in that perfect. There is no perfect. There is no perfect. You know, there's the word perfect. Like, I have the word in my company, perfect. Because I feel that my company is within standards to have that. But at the end of the day, I can't appease everybody. That's not my purpose. Because I was trying my best to appease everyone. Don't hurt nobody's feeling. Let them see who I am and give me that same energy. I had to learn nobody's going to give me that same energy. I had to learn that and accept it and eat it and build from that. Who wants to be beside me will be beside me. Who wants to gain something as far as knowledge from me will gain it. But again, at least I am on my stance. I am not a perfect person. Heck, great example. Me being in church, right?
Come on.
I was in church.
Ooh.
And the pastor was like, introduce yourself. You know how that go. And it was a mid-sized church. And the first thing I did, I said who my name was. I said my name and who I was professionally. But first thing I said, I am not a full Christian.
Oh.
I stood there and people was like,
Gasp.
Gasp. What you mean?
Clutching pearls.
Yes,
Ooh.
and the reason why I said I'm not a full Christian is because I know I do things within standards and not appeasing.
That are not of the standards of what
y'all have learned. My views on certain things are not as equal as yours.
Oh.
But I understand a higher power beyond me. I have a love beyond what y'all may have for yourselves for my higher power. So with that being said, I'm not going to stand on what appears to be a holy ground and lie.
Oh.
If I care so deeply for what I believe in.
So what happened? So like, what happened after that? As far as communicate, what did people pull you over to the side and be like, "Oh, you probably should be like"?
They didn't know what to say, but the funny result, the pastor became close to me because
you were honest.
Yes, because it was a female pastor. She was like, "You the first."
Wow. In that moment of being that open and that vulnerable, you will receive more.
Yes.
Wow.
Compared to the ones I watched, and she said I have a gift. Oh, because I watched how individuals moved within that space. And you have the ones that want to be the lickers. You know, you have the ones that want to be the.
Did you say the
boot lickers?
Oh, okay.
Ass kissers. You know, just to get a title within that organization. You know, and I didn't want no title. I didn't want anything but to be
who you were,
who I am, and receive the message to the best of my abilities. Now, some things I didn't agree with, but they respect me, and I never disrespected. That's the thing. I never disrespect their ground and their standards, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna up and lie. And you got a lot of people just want to be that perfect person. You are not perfect. Okay? Communicate that to yourself. You are a person within standards that's trying to live in this world to the best of your abilities and move forward from there. At the most, you're trying to gain a higher purpose within yourself, your spirit, before you leave this earth. Because at the end of the day, we live to die. Okay? So what you gonna do with it while you're here?
So is that question rhetorical?
You can.
Okay. No, because I want to ask you something. You know, with your experience thus far, like in your life and so on and so forth, like what advice would you give, or like what are some things, what are some tips and pointers that you would give to not even just myself, but to people that are also tuning in, as far as like some advice to help your communication?
Well, number one, meditation does help. Learn to communicate with yourself and respect yourself, love yourself, understand yourself before you engage with others. Because how you want to receive something for you when you don't even do it for yourself?
Oh, okay.
So like I said, it's funny how, and I'm being genuine with this.
Go ahead.
It's funny how life turns and flips certain things in your life that makes you have to sit down. COVID made us sit down.
Oh.
Now the question is, what did you learn while you were sitting? You had no choice. You could not go outside. You could not do certain things.
Didn't the divorce rates go up for a little bit, like during all of that?
Because they got to see the person for who they really was. Again, the representative. Maybe it was meant to be, because you finally, versus being able to leave when you want to leave.
You had to communicate. You
didn't have to communicate with the person. You just high and by and keep it pushing and come in different points in time.
You had to stay there. You had to deal. You had to deal.
Yeah, that particular situation, you had no choice but to really get to see that person and understand. We don't really have nothing in common. After in the first few days, we sexing and physical.
And now that that's gotten bored and we over that, now we have to talk to each other.
Yeah, I really don't like your stanky drawers like that. I don't really like your hair all over the sink like that. I don't like your makeup spread it everywhere. I don't like how you have the toilet seat up and leave little driplets all everywhere. You know, you really get to understand that. That's why I said this time around, whoever I get with, I'd rather have conversation. I'd rather have an understanding of what you really about. What do you really want in life? Are you spiritual? Are you religious? Or what are you? Do you have any goals that you want to accomplish? If so, what kind of goals? So, yeah, just questions and real talk. What is your ideal, or how do you feel about this scenario?
So in some of the, I guess if I'm going to talk about myself, in some of the good parts of what I feel, or what I feel is some of the good parts of my communication, like now, like relationships, or if someone, if we're deciding that we might possibly want to pursue a relationship, I used to ask, like, what do you bring to the table? The cheesy question. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that
y'all, the people that ask, they don't even have a table themselves. Right. So go ahead.
But the questions have evolved now. Like now, like, and I'm kind of proud of myself now that the question has evolved. Like now, I don't ask that. I ask, are you emotionally available?
And that's a great start, because
right. Are you
that makes a person
right?
think.
Yeah. Are you emotionally available? How do you believe in raising kids? If you don't, and like, those are the questions that I'm asking now. Like, and that's just from growth, and that's from growth. And now I'm trying to give myself flowers, as you said, like at the very beginning of this. I'm proud of myself that those are the questions that I ask now in communication. The parts of my communication that have grown and that have developed. You know what I'm saying? Because like whenever I ask people like, "Are you emotionally available?" They looking at me like, "Huh?" Some people are looking at me like, "Huh?"
But it's great.
Right.
It's great.
Whenever they don't have an answer, I'm like, okay, you know what? Hey, like this might not be.
Or just think on it.
Right.
They don't have to have the answer right away. It's just a point you put a seed in their mind to think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I give you a great example. My ex, my child's father, because I am not a baby mother. My child's father, before she was created, we had a discussion.
Okay.
Do you want kids? This me asking, do you want kids? What would we do with a child? This, that, and the other. Questions were brought up before the child was created. So a lot of people don't do that. They so quick to just jump and then get mad at the results.
Right.
Because they didn't know
the consequence. Right.
The actual individual they fucked with.
Right.
That's men and women. Can't get mad over the person because you fucked with. Now again, you do have those rare occasions where the person represented themselves in a highlighted form.
Right.
But once they received a child, turned into something else.
Right.
But if you saw this individual, male or female, acting a certain way in the beginning, with the child or without a child, you knew their behavior before you even laid down with them.
Ooh, touche.
So how are you getting mad at the results when you knew what you was laying with? That's my question. Sometimes we let the visual
take over.
Yes.
Ooh.
And not think about the mental effects of it all once something is created.
God.
Or better yet, you lay down with an individual and they become something. They showed you flags, but you ignore those flags. And then you try to break away from them and they become like toxic.
So do you think some of the reason why people ignore the red flags is because they're afraid to address it?
Yeah, it's a possibility, or they just want to live in the moment. What's it, Drake, the YOLO or whatever?
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, YOLO, but you're gonna have to deal with the doors you open.
She.
You know, and that's on real. That's real. You have to deal with the doors you open.
So another thing, like now that I'm in a headspace of trying to give myself flowers, another thing that I'm proud of myself for now that I've grown and developed too is like before, even like regardless of whether it's like it's something light or it's a relationship, like before I'm intimate, like with a woman, like I'm like, hey, we need to sit down and have a conversation first about like what this looks like before, this
right in the midst of trying to get, or before y'all even engage?
Yeah, before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's before. Like, it's before. It's before. It's like, hey, like, well, what is this?
Can't be like, ooh. Hold on, wait a minute.
No.
Let's have a conversation.
Nah. I mean, you can't. You can't. No. You
but
can't. It would be like
she all hide and bother you out there. Hold on, let me just hold.
Yeah, it would probably be like, hold on, what's this conversation look like? Oh yeah, I had to put on the deep voice, but no. Like before that even transpires, like I'm like, hey, we need to have a conversation first. Like, what does this look like afterwards? Like, like what does this look?
I'm just saying. Sex in me, but go ahead. I was just saying, I ain't mean to interrupt.
No, you're right. But no, now, I've gotten to a place to, because I care about people. I have a genuine concern about people, and like, the intention is never to hurt anybody. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want, like, I always, like, one of the good things is, like, I always want to try to make sure that, like, I'm in a space to where, like, I'm protecting someone's feelings if I can. You know what I'm saying? Because, like...
Let me go ahead right there, because, Lord, like, for real. So, I'm gonna pinpoint mine, but go ahead.
Because, like, the parts of me that I want to say that have progressed and that are a bit more developed in me or whatever is because, like, the parts of me, like, the self-love that I have or whatever, I don't want to hurt, so why would I want to hurt someone else? So, with that, hey, let's have a conversation. What is us being intimate with each other? What does this look like afterwards?
For me, that's growth.
Right.
That's growth. And it is that simplistic to me. Conversation can take you a long way. And for you to say, as a male, especially a black male, to say that you rather have the communication first in order not to hurt another individual female wise, that is meaningful. Because that I've encountered, or as far as heard some men say, like, I know I'm fucked up with them in a sense, but I still do gentleman shit with them too. I care. No, you don't. If you really care, you wouldn't do what you're doing to them. Knowing that eventually they're going to fall for you. Knowing eventually those hearts going to start beating it in a different pattern for you. And then you want to come back and say, well, you knew what it was when it... No. I take that back. I lied. Yes. They knew, but you changed the direction of the approach. If you say it's this is what you want. Are you cool with it? They cool with it. Then all of a sudden, y'all go further on in time. Somebody's going to catch some feelings. Somebody's going to catch some feelings, especially if it's more added each time. You doing more for that individual. You spending time with that individual. You are meeting that individual's family.
You know what? That's wow. Ooh,
so, again, you can't get mad at the results if it turns sour.
Right.
Because you open the door of, yes, you said what you said, but you added on as time progressed. And that person start getting crazy. And I say person because it can be female or male.
Right.
Imagine me getting with a man. I'm telling him all I want is sex. But I start doing girlfriend-wife things with him. Along with that sex. But I told you we just sex. I mean his family. I told you we just sex. I'm doing all these things for him. Eventually... I'm just saying, on that perspective, they're going to catch some feelings for you.
Right. Sheesh.
And then I say, well, nah, you getting too close to me, and I move on to the next man. That's what a woman feels. That's an example.
Okay.
Of what a particular woman feels that is genuinely about that person. And then you give them your physical as well as your mental, and they just run with it.
So let me ask you this, before we like, I know time is getting ready to
It's
wrap
all
up
good.
or whatever, but
Yeah.
because I think I want to say I mentioned this on the social media when we were talking about social media that like sometimes I have a tendency to let shit go too far sometimes or whatever. What like as a woman, what would you recommend? Like what would you suggest in those particular situations as far as like trying to not let stopping things from going too far? What would your recommendation be, or like what would you say?
If the person looks like they're interested in you, not be direct. Be direct.
Okay.
And don't. It's not gonna take away from your gentleman. I ain't telling you to go harsh on your words. Be choiceful with your words on how you express it, but at the end of the day, be direct on the idea of this is where you stand. There is no more, no less, and you have to stand on your words and your actions because they together.
And so I ask you that question because like it's been a situation or two to where like I didn't want anything. I just wanted to touch your
Your
private
private
parts.
parts, and that's fine.
And but the thing is, I didn't want like I know for me the concern was like just because I want to do this, I don't want you to view me as
Sometimes it's just like
right.
that.
And sometimes you
And you got some
sometimes
women
right.
that's cool with that, just touching the private parts and keep it pushing. But once you start interacting different things, when you notice that they are coming to you constantly to be that boyfriend or girlfriend quality, and that's not what you want, again, reiterate, we just this, right? No, yeah, and they can be lying. Yeah, I know.
That goes
But
back to what you said
the
earlier about the actions.
it's the actions.
This is
Fuck
complicated.
the words. It's the actions, people.
This is complicated.
And it's not complicated because again, at the end of the day, I can tell you I love you and mean it with all my heart. I love you. Oh yeah, I love you. Oh yeah, that.
I hate
You
it.
hear?
Yeah. I hate it here. I want to go home.
Or better yet, be like, yeah, and this is me telling you, oh, I love you. I love you so much. Or look at the action. Yeah, I love you. Yeah. Love is there.
I ain't say stop touching my hand though. Like,
But you see the difference?
Yeah, absolutely.
Words are powerful, but actions can be powerful too.
That's another thing. I think the actions are a lot more powerful than the words.
I'm asking you to be there, protect me, and love me for who I am just as much as you, but you ain't even giving me that. You give me all these words of endurement out this world. You can tell me flowers are in the sky for me and I love you beyond this universe and back, but your actions treat me like shit. Make that make sense.
So before we get out of here, let me address this real quick.
Okay.
I know that in a lot of cases, a lot of things that I've heard and a lot of things that I've read and a lot of things that I've seen, that a lot of men feel like that they don't have a space to be vulnerable and to communicate, to talk about the ways that they feel.
And they don't.
Right. In a lot of cases, they don't.
They don't.
Right. So fellas, like, and not even necessarily fellas, but if there's anybody out there that feels that way, I want to encourage y'all to go get therapy, because I'm in the process of looking for a therapist, and I think I might have mentioned this once before or whatever, but I'm in the process of looking for a therapist just to kind of to invest in myself and invest in my growth, for to talk about some of these things that I feel like I never had a voice about, or that I never really felt comfortable about, because like I said, as I've shared on the show, like all this time or whatever, like there are a lot of things that I'm still uncomfortable with as far as communication goes, and talking about myself is one of those things.
And I think it's
so. I want to encourage y'all to find y'all a safe space, find your therapist and so on and so forth, to be able to do that, and especially
if you
for the
can't
men.
afford a therapist, meditation helps quite a bit.
Right.
Or a good friend, great friend, actually.
Right.
Not somebody that is doing some fugazi shit. They are not the one to confide in. Evaluate who you talk to.
Fellas, leave some comments or whatever. If you feel if you watching this and you feel like you need someone to talk to, reach out. I'll listen. I'll listen to you.
Yeah, we both will listen. This is a platform of understanding and growth. We have our fun at the end of the day, but like I stated on several shows, we always have a positive at the end.
Absolutely.
No matter what we talk about. And mental health is important. Communication is part of mental health.
Absolutely.
They intertwine along with some other things. So, with that being said, it's time for our straight
mental,
for you.
Actually, and emotional too, right? I would think so.
That's why I said along with some other things.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a list, but we might have to tap into that on another topic or another time.
We're gonna be around for a while, so we got topics for your ass and for things or whatever. And folks, look, leave us some comments, like, share, subscribe, click the notification button, share, and folks, look. We're going to be here for a while. We got a lot of things that we want to talk about. If y'all got some topics that y'all want to share, please leave them in the comments, or find us on our social medias and be like, hey, I think y'all should address this and so on and so forth. And don't forget to go check out the goddamn merchandise.
We got to get our quote. We're going to get back into that.
Look, bro, I'm just trying to plug you, you know what I'm saying, before we get out of here. So go ahead, give them that positive quote.
So our positive quote for today is, life is too short to spend it at a war with others along with yourself.
Oh.
Again, today's positive quote is, life is too short to spend it at war with others along with yourself.
God damn.
So, yes. But to continue, where can they find you, sir?
Look, you can find me here on Mondays. This is the place to be. This is the up and coming show that you're gonna be that you're gonna be looking for or whatever. We ain't hard to find. I'm here Mondays, you know what I'm saying, for everything else. Trouble on there. Trouble on there, social media, Instagram, Facebook, but definitely look for me here because this we're doing this is a great thing. And I'm so appreciative and I'm so glad to be a part of this. And then the family's growing and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? The family's growing and what episode is this?
This episode
18, moving right along. How long we've been going? We at the 6-month mark now, or past it now, right?
No, this actually is a full 3 months.
3 months?
Because we took a break. It seems longer because we, pre-planning and all those things. But technically, we've just been on air for almost a full 3 months. Because we started off in...
That's right. We took the break for the holidays.
Yeah, about October. You got October, November. We took December off. Mm-hmm. And January.
Right.
So this goes a little bit over 3 months. But we just still babies in the game, coming off strong.
Well, y'all stay tuned. Stay tuned and stay tuned and just continue to grow with us. Not watch us grow, but grow with us. But anyway.
And you definitely can find me here always, and also to Facebook, Straight For You. Please follow, build that up also. And also you can find me on social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok, which is Ms. MZ _Black Diamond. Either way, all the information you may need is in the description box. If you want to see the details on our merchandise, it's also in the description box on the website a1perfectentertain.com. And also too, there's going to be some future other things lined up right now. Again, I feel like the foundation is strong. I feel like our stance is going to impact a lot of individuals, but we still need your help, like he stated, as far as making sure you subscribe, make sure you share, make sure you like. That like button is important. Make sure you hit that notification and comment, because we really want your ideas of what you think about the topics and possibly future topics.
Oh, definitely some future topics.
So with that being said, we're not going to hold you no further. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing us love. Security on deck. And everything is everything. Peace, y'all.